The opportunity is in the uncertainty, because by the time you know, it's too late. This is Tyson Ray, financial advisor at Form Wealth Advisors, where we exist to help make life better for our clients and those in our community. This is up or down for December, and Santa Claus came and pulled it through for the month of December, and the markets finished up. As we go into 2022, there is no opportunity in the certainty of rising interest rates and inflation for those that want to stay in too much cash or in bonds. What has been or is perceived to be a safe asset class is about to have some very different fundamentals going forward. I can't believe I'm talking about this again, but I still believe that COVID is creating great opportunities in the marketplace and creating uncertainties about how people feel they want to react to it. And we're getting scared and missing a very important perspective of what is COVID. As I have said before, I feel COVID is the new flu. I think this is going to be with us longer than people are expecting, but it's not the unknown anymore. And let me just take you back and teach again the lesson of what we know to apply about the future we don't know. So I still think there's opportunity in the uncertainty when it comes to how people are reacting to COVID and how just most people are still scared and panicked, and for maybe good reason. But I want to remind myself and everybody that's investing why we're doing what we're doing from what we've learned about COVID. So let's go back. I'm sharing my little Zoom screen here. Let's go back and remind ourselves how this started. This is daily deaths going back. And what I want to point out is that the market shut down and the entire world stopped because of this spike in daily deaths in March. However, I want to point out that the daily new cases were almost non-existent comparatively. And the reason the government shut down the economy is because the number of cases relative to the numbers of deaths put the death rate of COVID almost in double digits. And so we shut it down and prepared for the worst, but the worst never happened. And therein lies the opportunity of last year. So they had the economy shut down. We went through the holidays and we had the spike in cases that happened basically from Thanksgiving into the new year, with cases spiking at about 300,000 new cases in January of 2021. And yet, as far as the daily deaths went, we never really got that big of a spike. And in fact, 300,000 cases to only about 4,000 deaths gives the death rate about a 1.5% mortality rate if you actually got this, which is nowhere near the double digits that they were assuming back when the pandemic started. And that was actually the first hit for COVID that the United States had to deal with, was basically January of 2021. But then what about the Delta variant? So the Delta variant came in the September timeframe of 2021. And again, the daily cases did not get nearly as high as when COVID really hit us. Part of that's because of vaccinations. Part of that's just people paying attention to social distancing. And yet again, the daily deaths, when we got to the point of the Delta variant, the daily deaths did not get that high either. And in Delta, we got to about 200,000 daily cases at a high and about 2,700 daily deaths. Again, mortality rate of that is about 1.4%. And so now we get into Omicron. And so let's take a look at what that's shaping up to look like. More contagious, but we're finding it's not nearly as deadly. And we're getting this huge spike here coming out of the holidays. And I think it's going to be very similar to the same scenario we saw here coming out of the holidays, but it peaked at the beginning of January and fell like a rock after that. And as fast as Omicron is coming on, there is a lot of belief it's going to fall off. And in fact, we're seeing that in South Africa where it started. And same thing, though, the death rate of this is not nearly as deadly. And so I don't expect the economies to shut down. I don't expect schools to shut down. I think this is just going to be, we're going to have to live with Omicron, but therein lies the opportunity, because so many people are still panicked or so worried about this. They're still not investing properly, and they're sitting in cash afraid and not realizing the real risk is not COVID, it's inflation and rising interest rates. And so we're excited about going into 2022 and seeing how this plays out and looking forward to a new year. The purpose of these up or down videos is to try and bring a little understanding about what you should be doing with your long-term investments based on what is going on. And so this is Tyson Ray, financial advisor at Form Wealth Advisors, where we exist to help make life better for our clients and those in our community. So if you'd like to have a discussion about what your future looks like in 2022, give us a call.